Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Tim here for Droid Life. Thank you so much for tuning in, and first and foremost, happy 2019 to everyone. I think this might be our first official video that's not a podcast, so I hope everyone's 2019 is off to a splendid start. As you can see, ours is going just fine. Still, getting back into the swing of things. We have the Honor View 20 now in-house. As you will notice immediately that this phone doesn't technically have a notch per se, but instead it has the sort of hole punch. I guess if you want to call it a notch, that's totally fine, but we're just calling it the hole punch for the front-facing display here up in the top left. And before I dive right in and hype up that this is what the Samsung phone's going to look like, etc., etc., let's just kind of go over the phone, talk about specs, and then we don't yet know availability and pricing, so don't have that information for anyone quite yet, but let's just go over the phone. So Honor gave us a look at this phone at CES here just last week that was, and can already tell you that I like this phone quite a bit. So first let's do the specs, let's get all that out of the way. This phone has the Kirin 980 dual NPU AI chipset inside. That's just a bunch of fancy jargon. It's the Kirin 980 processor with 8 gigs of RAM, 256 gigs of internal storage. It also does come in another configuration that has 6 gigs RAM, 128 gig storage. For the display, looking at a 6.4 inch 2310 by 1080 resolution. That's FHD plus. Of course, multi-touch, sensitive, it's your standard typical display, but then of course you got that little cutout up there on the top left. On the rear, things get pretty intriguing. Have a sort of a dual camera setup right here, and then this other module over here has the LED flash, but Honor lists this as having a 48 megapixel plus 3D camera. So the 48 megapixel, they tack on an AI ultra clarity sort of moniker to go along with it. When we dive into the software here, I'll kind of go over that for you. But basically 48 megapixels on the rear facing camera. That's a pretty insane size of picture. Don't know if everyone needs it, but it is there. And like I said, you do have some 3D camera aspects thanks to the dual shooters. On the front here, I do believe a 25 megapixel front facing camera. So again, great for taking your selfies, all that good stuff. 4,000 milliamp hour battery inside, plenty good. On the back side here, fingerprint reader. On the bottom, you have a external speaker, USB-C jack, microphone. Left side, nothing except your SIM tray. Top, 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. Another noise canceling mic. Looks like some infrared goodness going on over here. On the right side, you've got a power button as well as a up and down volume rocker, single piece there. So as you can see, pretty elegant looking device. Now I don't know what side of the phone I like more, whether it's the front side with this cutout. I'm kind of digging the hole punch look, but then you've also got this red kind of Flareon Pokemon shout out coloration going on back here with this AI vision branding up here, big Honor logo on bottom. Hate to say it, but I think I kind of like the backside more. Just a overall very nice looking phone. Feels very good in hand. For software, running Magic UI 2.0, which is sort of Honor's in-house software, running on top of Android 9 Pie. As you can see, it's very much Android, custom skin interface. We're all used to this. Going into About Phone here, we can see Magic and, of course, build number 9.0, and then Android version 9. Give that the old taparoo. You've got Pi. Oh, I might just have to take a picture of this because it looks fantastic with this the red phone, red background. So real quickly, a couple of the software things that I've noticed so far out of the box. Does not come with a app drawer out of the box. In order to enable that, they talk about customizing with a pinch of the screen and then home screen settings. However, getting an app drawer is not under this settings menu. To do that, you're going to pull down, go into your standard settings menu, go to where it shows home screen and wallpaper, then home screen style, drawer versus standard. I don't know why that's standard. The drawer seems pretty standard. None of these offer gesture control. So I just go with the drawer. Pretty used to that. No big deal. No swiping, but that's completely fine. As for that camera that I was mentioning, every time I've had to fire it up, I've noticed that it turns off of its what is that, 48 megapixel resolution, but that's okay. If you dive into the settings here, when in that rear-facing camera, you go up to resolution. So 48 megapixel AI ultra clarity, 8,000 by 6,000. Pretty large photo again. Then you just back out, and it's still the same thing. It takes a second to actually shoot the photo, and then it says, of course, keep the phone steady. You're gonna want to be in good light so you can get that ultra clarity. So far, haven't really played with the phone all too much. Definitely have a lot of testing to do. However, let's just talk about this hole punch design. So Honor and Huawei sort of been hyping up this hole punch cutout for the front-facing camera, and now we know, we're pretty positive that Samsung is also doing the same with its Infinity O lineup of display technology, which will be seen in the Galaxy S10, S10 Plus, and apparently an S10 Lite and an S10X, or an S10 1010. Anyway, how the naming scheme is going, I'm not a marketing guy, so I guess I can't, point fingers at anyone for doing a bad job. But so here it is. Here's the cutout. A couple of things you can do with it, and if you're not really a big fan of the cutout itself, of course, you can go into the settings menu, go into display, and then you can tap on, or is it not display? You have to forgive me. I've just opened up the phone. Somewhere in here is the ability to sort of turn off the notch, if you will. Maybe I missed it. Let's go back into display, color mode, screen resolution. Oh no, I'm feeling super newbie right now. It's not screen, it's not color mode. Man, I'm feeling terrible. Let's go, can we search for notch? Not niche. Search for notch, there we go. So under display menu somewhere, more display settings. Sorry I missed it. Anyway, total fail. You've got notch, dedicated settings menu. So in here you've got your default is hole punch, of course, and then down on the bottom you've got hide notch. If you hide notch, you just get a big black bar up there on the top, which isn't all that bad. However, if you're kind of looking at the phone from a distance, you'll be like, whoa, big top forehead bezel thing. But honestly, I'm kind of digging the default. It's not all that unpleasant. So the thing is, this is running Android 9 Pie. Pie typically has the clock on the left side, but thanks to software magicry, we've got the clock on the right side. So now all your notifications are kind of pushed in from the front-facing camera there. It's definitely an interesting look, and from what we know now, the Samsung one will be on the right side. So there's different things from different companies going on. However, if we were comparing this, say, to the Pixel 3 XL's huge notch that goes in like 2 inches on the display, I don't know if this is all that offensive to me. This is actually quite nice looking. Pair this kind of tiny cutout with anything you got going on. I mean, on the settings, like, it almost looks like it kind of fits the phone. It looks like maybe it's a really thick, bold notification or something. I don't know. It doesn't bother me all that much. Couple that with this really sweet red background with this V shape going on for the View 20. I think this thing looks really awesome. So we will, of course, review this thing. We'll talk about it more. If you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, hit them down in the comments below. We'll field them. We don't yet know, like I said, availability or pricing for this device. That's going to come at an event that is scheduled to take place in Paris here quite soon. So we'll have that information, and until then, we'll let you know. We'll test it out. We'll do the review, all that good stuff, and yeah, hope your 2019 is going good. We are Droid Life. Peace.